Right now, the fashion industry is pulling off the biggest heist in human history. And they're doing it by deleting the one thing that made it art in the first place: the human beings. Luxury brands are realizing human models are expensive. They age, they unionize, they even talk back. But AI models, it works 24/7. It fits every digital garment perfectly and costs nothing to maintain. Welcome to the end of the human model. The truth is, AI models remove the biggest risk in the fashion industry: unpredictability. Now think about it. How many times have we seen a massive brand get destroyed by a celebrity, influencer, actor because of something they've done on their personal life? With the AI model, their image and silhouette is crafted fully in the image of the corporation. Virtual models are the ultimate compliant workforce because they never age. The same beauty for eternity. They never call for a strike so they can unionize. And there's never a huge public scandal. And they don't require expensive lighting, expensive sets, traveling around the world to get expensive shots. Everything can be made with just a prompt. Brands are using AI to gain social credit for being inclusive, generating avatars from all demographics, generating diverse avatars without actually having to pay or donate to those diverse models, makeup artists, and talent.
Of the breadth and depth of diversity we see in society. And so what happens to the gains from those actual models who are now kind of kicked off the payroll? And then the second is there's kind of unique areas for exploitation to occur here. So a company could just generate the illusion of diversity and create characters from a community that perhaps nobody in that fashion company or in that brand has anybody on the payroll that represents that community. So you're profiting off of a community that you're speaking on behalf of. And maybe that community would have not worked with that brand.
So they're cutting their cost and cutting their labor, but it doesn't come back to the consumer. The price of the product still keeps going up. And in the end of it all, what happens to us? The beauty standard just keeps rising. The standard of beauty is getting lost behind coding and consistent looks. And in the end, we're left chasing a standard that's a hole that can never be filled. Because the hole isn't actually there. The hole isn't real. Because the model isn't real. And the clothes aren't real. It's all fake. But if you confront the executives from Nike, Prada, and Vogue about this, they won't say it's to save money and cut costs. They will tell you they're actually fixing the industry's darkest secrets. Think about it. A digital model never has to starve herself to fit into the perfect dress. The model is never put into cruel working conditions or having to work a 16-hour photo shoot. They'll say it's the ultimate safe labor alternative. Plus, a brand that's selling globally can perfectly tailor a campaign to this local audience without ever having to book a flight. There are no physical constraints or any mass and carbon footprints from flying 20 people across the world for a photo shoot. They will argue that AI isn't erasing humans. It's lowering the barrier of entry. So smaller brands that can't afford bigger campaigns can have the same access as bigger brands. And they'll even try to tell you they are democratizing fashion. But if you look closely at that noble defense, the mask starts to slip. They argue they're democratizing art and protecting models. But how is a server-generated image that's created by a probability engine more artisan than the human model they just fired?
For many brands, AI models are viewed as a cost-saving alternative to elaborate photo shoots. Industry insiders warn that would take away many traditional jobs, while proponents of AI argue that they're just creating different jobs.
They're using the language of sustainability of the earth and human progression to sell you an image out of a prompt box. This isn't about protecting safe labor. This is about their ability to churn out consistent looks that consistently hit the algorithm. And when things consistently hit the algorithm, brands consistently get paid. The truth is, they've discovered that human connection and true craftsmanship is slow, messy, and expensive. But AI is fast, digital, and infinitely scalable. They aren't trying to be progressive. They're trying to be tech companies ignoring their luxury roots. Look, AI isn't going anywhere. It's the future of e-commerce. And expecting a brand not to use a tool that can save them millions is naive. But tomorrow, you have to change how you consume your algorithm and your newsfeed. For generations, the fashion industry has sold us impossible beauty standards. But at least those standards were constrained by human biology, not a mathematical illusion. A server-generated avatar that never has to breathe, sleep, or eat. We as the consumer have to refuse to let them have it both ways. The next time you see a flawlessly generated campaign for a $500 jacket, realize that it's code. It's not real. When you see this beautiful model, realize that it's code. It's not real. When we start to look and compare ourselves, our clothing, to generated images, the more we start to lose sight of what's real. Stop comparing your physical reality to synthetic marketing, and stop paying heritage prices for artificial fashion.